Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and merciful. Assalamu alaikum class. My name is Muhammad Hamza and my roll number is MSF 2000163, and here is our fourth lecture of single crystal X-ray diffraction, that is the part of our course CAM 5134 X-ray diffraction techniques. In this lecture we will study about two software programs that are Simon and Saint. Then we will discuss about solving a crystal structure by using single crystal X-ray diffraction technique, and then we will study about the strength and limitations of single crystal X-ray diffraction techniques, and then we will compare the powder X-ray diffraction technique with single crystal X-ray diffraction technique. SMART stands for Siemens Molecular Analytical Research Tool. It is a software that is used to determine the structure of the single crystal. SMART controls the operation of diffractometer, and it includes the equipment calibration. It also includes the orientation matrix calculation and the recording of the frames of different intensity data. So the SMART Siemens Molecular Analytical Research Tool software controls the operation of the diffractometer, including equipment calibration, orientation matrix calculation, and recording of the frames of different intensity data. Frames are typically measured in 3 or 4 batches for omega scan data. Within each batch, the chi and phi angles are fixed and the crystal is rotated around the omega, normally in steps of 0.3 degree. So different batches are collected with different starting values of phi. This results in a measurement of series of closely spaced cross sections of reciprocal space. Hence, three-dimensional diffraction information is obtained. So this is a technique, this is a software program in which we discuss the two angles, one is chi and the other is phi. That results in the measurement of series of closely spaced cross sections of the reciprocal space. For 2 theta coverage from 0 to 55 degree, in total we use up to 1200 frames that are required, but this limit can be changed if more data is required. We can say that if we require more data, we can change this number of frames. So a typical program frame for a strongly diffracting crystal is shown below. Here the vertical color bar is used to adjust the contrast to optimize the observed diffraction pattern. Here a movie showing the diffraction pattern as the crystal is rotated in a sequence of 44 frames is available as an MPEG file of 403 kilobyte or in Macintosh QuickTime format 735 kilobyte. So for different software programs we require different values of frames that are used in MPEG file or in Macintosh QuickTime format. In this slide, here is the pictorial display of the frame, that is thumbs out when we use the SMART tool. As you can see on the right side of the slide, here is the vertical color bar, and as we discussed in the last slide, This vertical color bar is used to adjust the contrast to optimize the observed diffraction pattern. It is an other software program that is used to determine the crystal structure. SAINT stands for Siemens Area Detector Integration. The SAINT program is used to integrate the raw frame data that is obtained from the area detector and to produce a scaled and merged set of reflection intensities. And there is correction for absorption effects and crystal decays are possible, as well as merging of data from different collection batches and different crystals. So the integration that can be performed simultaneously as we are getting the frames, so that the reflection data file is available for structure solution immediately after the frame data collection has finished. So we can say that the integration is performed simultaneously as we got the reflection data, so that the structure solution can be obtained immediately after the data collection has finished. Solving a crystal structure by using single crystal X-ray diffraction techniques. Solving a crystal structure by single crystal X-ray diffraction technique. So the crystal that we are using must be the single crystal, and then according to the Bragg equation, when we will rotate this single crystal in the path of monochromatic radiation, such that every conceivable orientation of the crystal relative to the beam is achieved, and each set of planes will have an opportunity to satisfy the Bragg equation and will show the reflections or will give rise to the reflections. And in order to solve the crystal structure, it is necessary to obtain the large number of or record the large number of reflections, and this implies accurately measuring their intensities and recording their directions with respect to the crystal orientation and the initial X-ray beam direction. And many experimental techniques have been devised to achieve this, and the steps that are involved in crystal structure determination are summarized in the flowchart that is available in our next slide. In this slide we have the flow diagram how we can solve a crystal structure by using the single crystal diffraction technique. First of all, we have to select a suitable crystal, and then we will measure the crystal system and unit cell dimensions, and then full data set collection is measured, and then we will observe the Travis lattice, and then we will find out the space group, and then we will construct an electron density map which will help us to study the location or position of the atoms, and then we will got structure refinement. In this slide we will discuss the applications of the single crystal X-ray diffraction. Single crystal X-ray diffraction is used for the determination of the unit cells, bond angles, bond lengths, and including the cell dimensions and position of atoms within the lattice, where lattice network is formed when a unit cell repeats itself. Bond lengths and bond angles are directly related to the atomic positions. The crystal structure of a mineral is a characteristic property that is the basis for understanding many of the properties of each mineral. And here are some specific applications of the single crystal X-ray diffraction that include the new mineral identification, that is the most important application of single crystal X-ray diffraction technique, crystal solution and refinement. As we already discussed about the determination of unit cell, bond lengths, bond angles and site ordering, and the characterization of cation-anion coordination. Next one is the variation in crystal lattice with chemistry. Here are few more applications of the single crystal X-ray diffraction. With specialized chambers, structures of high pressure or temperature phases can also be determined by using the single crystal X-ray diffraction technique, and determination of crystal chemical versus environmental control on mineral chemistry. Powder patterns can also be derived from single crystals by use of specialized cameras Gandolfi. Now we will discuss the strengths and limitations of the single crystal X-ray diffraction. The strengths of single crystal X-ray diffraction are as follows. No separate standards are required in this technique, and this technique is non-destructive. Non-destructive means that the sample we are using is not destroyed in this technique, and we can use this sample again and again for further experimentation. Now have a look at the limitations of single crystal X-ray diffraction. We must have a single and stable sample, generally between 50 to 250 microns in size, and the sample must be optically clear, and it is very difficult to handle the twin samples. And the data collections generally require between 24 and 72 hours, so it is a very time consuming technique. In this slide, advantages and disadvantages of X-rays are mentioned. First, have a look at the advantages of the X-rays. X-ray is the cheapest and the most convenient and widely used method. X-rays are not absorbed very much by the air, so the specimen need not to be in an evacuated chamber. It also have some disadvantages. They do not interact very strongly with lighter elements, and the main limitation of the method is the requirement of the pure crystal of high regularity, that we have to construct a single crystal or a pure crystal of high regularity. Here the comparison between single crystal X-ray diffraction and powder X-ray diffraction is given. As you can see that when a crystal is placed between the in path of X-ray beam, it will give a diffraction pattern, and on further structure solution and refinement we will get an electron density map, which on further refinement and solution will give the structural model of that crystal. While in powder diffraction we will place a powdered sample in place of the or in path of the X-ray beam that is coming from the same source, and we will get a graph which upon a further refinement and solution will give the structure of the powder sample. Now we will discuss the comparison between powder X-ray diffraction and single crystal X-ray diffraction. Powder X-ray diffraction is not as powerful as single crystal XRD. Powder X-ray diffraction gives less accurate atomic positions as compared to single crystal X-ray diffraction. Single crystal X-ray diffraction requires the growth of a single crystal, while there is no need of crystal growth for powder X-ray diffraction. In powder X-ray diffraction, sample must be in powder form, while in single crystal X-ray diffraction, only single crystal is required. In powder X-ray diffraction, large crystallite sizes and random and non-random crystallite orientations both led to peak intensity variations, that due to presence of large crystallite size and non-random crystallite orientations we will get the intensity peak variations. We can say that there is variation in the peak intensities. Powder X-ray diffraction obtains diffraction pattern for bulk material of crystalline solid, while single crystal X-ray diffraction does not represent the overall material. In powder X-ray diffraction pattern is obtained from powder of the material. Rather, in single crystal X-ray diffraction, individual crystals gives the diffraction pattern. Powder X-ray diffraction is easier and more convenient than single crystal X-ray diffraction, as it does not require individual crystal to be made. So the summary of this slide is that in single crystal X-ray diffraction we use single crystal, and while in powder X-ray diffraction there is no need for crystal growth and we will use the powder sample. In powder X-ray diffraction, due to presence of crystallites, non-random crystallites, there is peak intensity variations, while in single crystal X-ray diffraction we obtain intense peaks. In single crystals, X-rays will be scattered only in certain directions when they hit the formed lattice planes that are formed by the atoms. This will result in high intensity peaks. While for polycrystalline materials, X-rays will scattered in many directions, which results in a large bump distributed in wide range 2 theta instead of high intensity narrower peaks. It means that we get high intensity peaks in single crystal X-ray diffraction, while in polycrystalline materials or powder X-ray diffraction we obtain the large bumps instead of the narrower peaks. Thank you.